Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and for the last week I've been driving the 2026 Hyundai Ioniq 9 Calligraphy. Below me are two electric motors powering this all-electric three-row SUV. Now, I am super excited to be making this video here today because I spent the last week with the new Ioniq 9. This is an all-new product from Hyundai for the 2026 model year. It's technically the fourth Ioniq vehicle following the original Hyundai Ioniq, the Ioniq 5, and the Ioniq 6, now the Ioniq 9. And so today we're going to be taking a look at what I've liked and what I've disliked over my week with the vehicle, and if it's worthy of that $77,000 price tag. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zachbradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that all-electric drivetrain. Well, range is going to be the biggest question mark, and as of right now, I get about 310 miles per charge. Now, here's a picture that I took when it was at a full charge of what percentage you get, and I like that it gives you a maximum and a minimum to work with. So if I drive it like a goody two-shoes, I could get upwards of 390. If I drive it like the bad boy I truly am, I will get around 240. So pretty big discrepancy between those numbers. However, I really like that Hyundai actually gives you those. This also does have the new NACS charging port, or as it's better known as the Tesla charging port. However, Hyundai does give you adapters. How does it feel to drive the Ioniq 9? It drives like most other EV vehicles. It is bigger than the Ioniq 5 and 6, so get yourself ready for that, obviously because it is a three-row. But power is smooth, ride quality is good. I wouldn't say it's like uber luxury, but it is nice. Visibility is good, and I don't have any complaints. It drives like an EV, so that's all I have to say about that. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a completely digital gauge cluster, again, like all Ioniqs do. And as I mentioned, I love that I get that range minimum and maximum off to the right, as well as I do like that I could switch around this gauge cluster, give you some other info that you might want. On the steering wheel, on the left, we do have our adaptive cruise control settings, as well as our scroll wheel for that gauge cluster screen. And off to the right, we have our skip track, volume, mode, and voice commands, and we do have regenerative braking paddles around the back of the steering wheel. Off to the left, we do have a climate vent. We have our charge door release, our frunk and trunk release, traction control off, power parking brake, and gauge dimmer switch. And moving on to the door, we have 2 levels of memory seats with our ergo motion, which is basically massage seats. This is just for the driver. Unfortunately, the passenger does not get an ergo motion seat, but that's been very nice. And moving down, we have the power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. Moving into the center, we get our infotainment display. This does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It also has the nice 360 camera. And otherwise, it's really nice and easy to use. It's not a struggle, which I really, really enjoy. I think it looks good, works well, and I'm very happy with it. Down below, we have 2 climate vents along with a lot of radio buttons for tune and volume. We have our hazard switch, seek track setup, things like that. And then we have our climate controls, dual zone climate, heated and ventilated front seats, as well as you can do your driver only heating and ventilation to help cut down on power usage from the battery. Down below that, we have 3 USB-Cs as well as a 12-volt outlet, a little cubby, and then we'll move up to the center console. Here you'll find the auto holding brake, hill descent control, parking camera, and parking sensors, as well as our drive modes for Eco, Normal, Sport, and My Drive. However, you can also switch it to terrain and go through snow, mud, and sand modes. Then you do have a wireless charger, and we do have cup holders, so we'll do a big friggin' bottle test, and I'm very happy to report that it does, in fact, pass the big friggin' bottle test, unlike the Ioniq 5 and Ioniq 6. Then we do get a center console. And the seats. The seats are heated, ventilated, power memory, and the driver's seat is massage, which is all fantastic. I took this on several longer trips, and I really enjoyed it. And the driver's seat has a relax mode that will basically tilt you back into a more comfortable position. However, speaking of seats, the big calling card of the Ioniq 9 is that it is a 3-row SUV. So let's go do some backseat reviews. Rise, my children. I've been watching too much Transformers. All right, so we're in the back of the Hyundai Ioniq 9 from 2026, even though it isn't 2026 yet. Couple of things to note. First of all, knee room great, headroom great. I do get to enjoy the giant sunroof when it's open, but it's a very hot day if you couldn't tell by my blown out hairstyle. So I will be keeping that closed to keep my composure and not die. However, to help me not die, I do have ventilated seats back here, something you don't get in a Rolls-Royce Cullinan. You have heated seats, you have your own temperature control back here, and I can open the front center console from back here. So if the driver has hidden some snacks in there, don't worry, I will still find them. USB-Cs in the front seats as well. We get climate vents up here in the ceiling. We get a nice little LED light. This is an enjoyable second row to be in. All of the Ioniq cars, all the current Ioniq cars have great back seats, so the Ioniq 9 is no different. However, this is the first 3-row Ioniq vehicle, so let's see what's going on back there. All right, in the very back row, I'm a little squeezed. Not gonna lie to you, don't need to. It's a little tight back here. However, I do have USB-C. We have power reclining for the 3rd row. Very nice to see that. Now, these seats are powered, as you saw a moment ago. And we'll talk about more with the trunk. But cup holders, USB-C, that's pretty much it. I don't fit back here super wonderfully. I'm 5'11", not a small guy. If you have kids, they're gonna fit back here fine. You know, full-size adults, maybe it might be a little bit of a squeeze like myself. If you're over 6 foot, this is gonna be a struggle, but it is a 3rd row of a more family-oriented SUV, and so unless everyone in your family is over 6 foot, this should do the job pretty well. Let's hop out. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. Right around the back of the Ioniq 9, we do have a button here for the rear tailgate. And don't mind my Traxxas RC car. We do have a button over here for the rear tailgate. Very, very interesting there. And we have a 12-volt outlet. Over here, though, we have our controls for the 3rd row. So power, all 4. Apparently I didn't hit that one good enough. Nope. There you go. So you can power lower all 4 of the seats. Absolutely love that. They're not the fastest, speediest things in the world, but they are also power right back up. So all 4 of them, look at that. Look at them rise. That is very, very cool. Coming down here, we do have a little bit of extra storage, but not a whole lot. And over here, you can slide over for an actual outlet. Very, very cool to see all of that. Coming back up here, press the tailgate button once, and it will lower right back down. Very nice to see all of that. All right, we do have a frunk as well, but I've never seen this in a car. You can open the frunk using the key. You have press and hold this button right here. But if you want to open it like a traditional hood, you actually have to remove that cover, and then you can pull the latch. I've never seen a cover on it. Seems like a little bit of a safety concern, but there you go. So let's hop out now that it's opened and talk about the frunk. There's not a whole lot to talk about. There's a little area. This is for the charging adapter. And this, I assume, is a charger. We get a tire mobility kit, but that's it. Not a whole ton of storage, but definitely a lot more storage than what you would see in the Ioniq 6 and Ioniq 5. So that is an upgrade for the larger vehicle, but still not anything crazy. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I actually really, really like the look of the Ioniq 9. I think the front is interesting, but I think the back is totally captivating. It honestly looks like what Volvo and Polestar should be doing with their EVs. This does have a very 70s, 80s Volvo station wagon look at the back, but I personally really enjoyed that. And I guess Hyundai said, well, if Volvo ain't going to do it, we'll do it. And I think they did it better. I love the look of it. It also doesn't present as super large. It doesn't feel like a Tahoe or Escalade. It feels, or at least looks, a little bit smaller, and I like that. It doesn't have this overbearing footprint in traffic, and I like that quite a bit. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the Hyundai Ioniq 9 for the last week? Well, I don't have many captivating, crazy thoughts. I know sometimes in these videos I can go on tangents that seemingly have no end. The honest truth is that this is good. It's a great product. Is it worth $77,000? That's pretty high. However, I will say this is the Calligraphy, so obviously you could get Ioniq 9s for way more affordable with less features. This is the top dog. This is the cream of the crop. But 77 is still, that's up there, man. I do like this, though. I really, really like the Ioniq 9. Now, that's no mystery. I like the Ioniq 6, I like the Ioniq 5, and I like the original Ioniq. I think Hyundai is really, really hitting its stride at the moment. They're having a very good run of it with their EV products. Better than I would say almost any other brand overall. Ford, I don't love the Mach-E, especially the Rally that I recently drove. Teslas, I'm not a fan of. I don't like how barren their interiors are. GM as a whole, their EVs are very, very complicated, especially their Cadillac lineup vehicles. I just don't think they're super user-friendly. Dodge, Volvo, the EX30 that I drove, very confusing, not user-friendly in the slightest. Toyota's BZ and the Subaru Solterra is an absolute joke. It's a laughing stock of the automotive world. I like what Hyundai and Kia are doing. I think they work really well, and that is true here, even in the brand new Hyundai Ioniq 9. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Hyundai for letting me borrow their Ioniq 9 for the last week. Huge thank you to Drive Shop for facilitating the cleaning and delivery of this Ioniq 9. And, of course, the Midwest Automotive Media Association. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.